Hey, it's Samantha Hartley of the Profitable Joyful Consulting Podcast. This season, we're talking about consulting business ideas. And today, I wanted to talk about planning your next year successfully. So in the last episode, we did some reflection upon the year that was, and I love to use that as the foundation to plan your business. So planning is like possibly my favorite thing that we do in businesses because I love the place of pure potential. Like when we sit in that place and we're like, imagine what we want to have happen in the next year. And sometimes we're just planning our week or our month, but that place of pure potential when we can really create whatever we want to have happen in our life and in our business, that is a place that I love. So with these ideas that we've had, that we've generated during the reflection phase, and if you want, you can go back and listen to that episode before this one, or we'll just take it, the foundation of exactly where we are right now. And we're going to build the next year for you, however you want that year to be. So, you can just listen and have fun and imagine things in your mind as you listen. Or if you'd like, you can get a big sheet of paper, a flip chart, and some pens and like really set aside some time to do planning. In general, as you know, I'm a fan of deep thinking and I'm a big fan of really taking time away from your business, at least away from your literal workspace, and going and kind of like imagining like what's possible. What do you really want for yourself? To me, this is the key question. Like, what do you really want? And to ask that question of yourself, like multiple times, what do I really want? Why do I really want that? And when you get in touch with that, you're much more likely to be able to bring that into being. I find a lot of people like, they're like, well, I just want the business to, cover my expenses and help me to live. They may not state that overtly, but a lot of times they're behaving as if that is their desire. And if they realize that, and if you possibly realize that, like, what do you want? If not that, then what? Like, let's get super clear. And let's get so clear that if you told it to another person, they would be able to recognize when you're achieving that. That's that picture of success that we want to strive for. The kind of clarity about what you want that it's almost objectively realized. And that's why it's helpful to do a vision board or write a vision statement. I've got another episode about writing a vision for your business. And today we're just going to talk about like literally like it's the beginning of a new year or we're before that time to come. And what are the questions we need to ask ourselves? And then what are the things, the intentions and plans that we want to set down so that we can actually realize that year. I'm not a business planner who like comes up with this like huge PowerPoint deck in a binder. That's not a thing that you're going to use realistically in your business. And I can tell you, having come from corporate, when we did create those things, we didn't actually use them. So let's create today a thing that's actually going to be practical for you and actually going to inspire and excite you to work in the business. So the first thing I want you to think about is as we reflected upon the last year, we asked ourselves a few questions about the year that was. Like, what do you want to keep from that year? So let's recall that and bring that to mind because there were some things that happened, whether that's marketing techniques or clients that you worked with or team members or processes or procedures. There were things that were great about last year, the wins that you celebrated that you want to bring into this next year. That is critical for you to acknowledge because a lot of times, as I mentioned in the last episode, we go, oh, cool, that was great. And then we clear that slate and we're like, okay, brand new year, blank slate. Don't begin with a blank slate. Bring your wins and your strengths and your assets forward into this year. So as you're looking to create next year, like you have a foundation already. You have things that have worked for you. Listen, if only one thing worked for you last year, well, great. It's better than a purely blank slate. You're not brand new anymore. So bring all of those wins forward into this year and know what you want to keep. Now, we also talked about things that you want to dump. Like, listen, there was a bunch of stuff, and that may be people. It may be processes, marketing techniques, energies, stuff, literal, objects that you cannot function with anymore, and you want to get rid of those. So I invite you, especially since as I'm recording this and as we're listening to this, we're coming upon the year end. Year end is a great time to purge. So just purge all the things that you do not want to take into the next year with you. You are in power. You are in control. You decide what you want to take with you and what you don't. And if it's not working for you, get rid of it. Okay. So all of this stuff that you've been tolerating that's not working for you, you do not have to take that into the next year with you. And I mean, we can be pretty ruthless about this. You can cut off partners, business associates, anybody whose energy is not elevating yours and moving you towards your vision and mission. I'm ruthless about these things when your brand or your vision are compromised. And if you have somebody or something in your life that is not working for you, like maybe you're a member of some things, or maybe you feel you have an obligation to participate in something or to be friends with or colleagues with somebody, and they're bringing you down, it's not worth it. It's not a fit. And that's got to go. Okay. So last category of this stuff from last year was things that you want to fix. It's like, those are some things that like, I really feel like it has potential, didn't work, but it can be better. Or stuff that's like, wow, that's broken. Let's fix that. I can't throw out my, perhaps an entire service area of what you're doing, but it's just not performing the way you want it to. And so let's fix that. So anything that you want to bring forward that is like that. So I would say I have tested a few different CRMs this year. That's, the place how you send emails out from. I had one that was highly recommended, did not love. Okay, we're throwing that one out, not even starting over, but returning to the thing that worked for us. There were some things in there that had high potential. We're going to fix those and integrate them with the thing that we had that was already working, for example. So fix is a broad category. Again, it can be like, well, I'm not, that thing that I'm participating in is not working for me. I want to give it a college try. So you're going to do one more try with it this year. I would say give it a quarter and not a whole year. Give it a quarter and see if that works for you, and then go from there. So that's our things that we bring forward from our reflection. Also in your reflection, I think, was a lot of stuff that, you got in touch with the feeling of like, that was a win, or this thing really worked for me. So I want you to think about those things, especially what you can reuse, organic posts that you can reuse, content that you've created, materials, other, things that you've created for a particular client that you can now reuse for a different client. I want you to be very careful about doing new work when you've done a lot of work in the past. You know who you are if this is you. You're constantly creating new materials and new stuff and new content and new things. I want you to consider before you create anything new. So have a little SOP or a little procedure for yourself that says, wait, see if anything I already have can be reused, repurposed, recycled, adapted, updated, and see if you can use that instead before you create new stuff. In general, we create too much stuff and we market it too little. Right? That's words from Taki Moore. So if you are in that situation where you are constantly generating new something, even if it's in collaboration with clients, it's another really good place to check. Don't create a bunch of new stuff next year. See if what you have is the ability to repurpose what you already have. Now, if you're newish or you haven't created a lot of stuff, or this is an area of excitement for you, that wasn't advice for you. You do you, go on with what you've got going on. So we are thinking about all of this stuff in the past year that's informing this upcoming year. So now let's think about, this is where most people begin, what are your goals? What are your goals or intentions for this coming year? And I want you to think about them first broadly. Like when I say that, what comes up for you? Like, what do you want this next year to be? What would you hear, or what emotion arises when you think about that? Again, we're in this place of pure possibility where you can make it whatever you want. And what do you want it to be? Now, think about that in terms of tangible things and also intangible. So tangible goals are going to be things like making this much money, this much profit, adding this many clients. It's also going to be things like working a 4-day work week, starting and ending my day on time. That's tangible because it's measurable and quantifiable. All SMART goals that are measurable and tangible and quantifiable, those are tangible goals. And I want you to definitely have a set of those for next year. Things that you want to achieve that are measurable. And then it's important also to have intangible goals, especially since a lot of us are not necessarily motivated by money. We also might not be super motivated by tangible goals at all. I'm going to talk a little more about that this season because I think it's a really big idea that not a lot of people realize about themselves. So if you feel like, I don't really care how much money I make, but what I want is to, then here's some intangible ones. I want to feel excited to get up and go to work every single day. I want to feel excited on Sunday evenings instead of stressed out. I want to feel joy when I'm working with my clients and my team. I want to feel creatively fulfilled by the work that I'm doing. And here's some other really good intangible goals. I want to have rest and relaxation as a part of every single day of my workday. Now, that's something that you can kind of tangibilize, to coin a phrase or word here. You can tangibilize that goal by saying, I'm going to have 2 scheduled breaks every day that I'm going to take, or 5 scheduled breaks, however many you choose. But you can track that kind of performance on a little rest tracker and make sure that happens. So we have a section of goals which are tangible, more kind of like the hardcore measurable things. And then the other ones that are more emotional, feeling in the flow, less tangible ones. So I think it's really important to have both of those kinds of things, especially since you're listening to me and we're talking about having both a profitable and joyful consulting business. Let's make sure that we envision the business with both of those things. I think the reason a lot of traditional business planning doesn't work for people is because it's like all write down the kind of like, here's our goals, we're going to do this, we're going to have these processes. And it doesn't leave us open to the fact that like, hey, it's actually second quarter and I had planned to do this thing for the whole year, but you know what? I didn't love it. And so now I'm pivoting. A lot of plans don't incorporate that. And I want you to incorporate that you need to feel like excited about everything that you're doing the whole year. And so as we're looking at that whole year and we've got these goals laid out, I want you to imagine that happening and being possible for you, both the tangible ones and the intangible ones. So, for example, if you want to add something like 200K to your business next year, how might you do that? So I think it would be fun to have this written down in a plan. Now, note that I said I think it's fun. If this pulls your energy down and makes you depressed, then don't do it. But play along for just a second and see how this feels for you. So let's say we want to add $200,000 next year, and we're just kind of envisioning what that might look like, right? So the first question I always ask my clients when they say what they want to add in the next year, whether it's 50,000 or 2 million, I always ask, can you do that with a single client? So let's spend some time with that. Could you have a single $200,000 client? Why not? It's about $18,000 a month in payments. So, well, what would you be doing? You could do that. What would you be doing for a client if they were paying you that? What kind of a client would it be? Do you have other clients like that? Is that actually small for you? These are the things to ask. So if you sit with that energy for a minute and think, oh, they're paying me like $18K a month. It's $200K over the course of the year. Is that fun? Light, exciting? Do you get ideas? Like, what I could do for them is, that's the question I like to ask. So see how that feels. And if not, like, if you feel like, no, seriously, I could not do that. Okay, cool. How about 2? Could you do it in 2 clients? That's $9K a month, right? Oh, all right. Well, I think I could do that in 2 clients or not. No. Okay. Well, how about 4? Could you do it in 4, like $4,500 a month? 4 clients at $50K a piece. Well, we're starting to get into very reasonable territory. I have numerous clients who have engagements which are 50K engagements or above. So that's completely reasonable. Just so you know, right? So this is the way that I like to play around with the numbers that I want to add in the coming year and the conversation that I have with my clients about it. So let's say you wanted to add 200K. Do you want to do that as purely advisory? Or do you feel like you want to bring in a little more done for you? Like you're going to get in and kind of implement some of this for the client. So maybe you come in and you are a fractional department for them, in which case you should definitely be charging, 18 to 20K a month for that. Or do you want to have it all be advisory, which could, by the way, still be 18 to 20K if you are doing high level advisory services, which are bringing the client a return of, 2 million, $1 million, 2 million, then you can certainly charge 20K a month for that. So do you imagine it's more of done for you service or more strategy? Is it more something that you're already doing, or is this a new service? And before you create too much stuff from that place, remember the 5 whys. So an episode that I did recently was on the topic of the 5 whys. And this is the scenario in which you concentrate for a year on 5 specific things. Well, one of those things is 1 target audience. The second one is 1 offer. So let's just think of this. You're going to work with an existing target audience, the one who's the most ideal fit for you right now. You're going to work with that client base, and you're going to offer one thing. You're going to market and offer only one thing. Then one of the ones is for 1 year. So could you, over the course of next year, add 200K in new revenues by focusing on one single ideal client with one offer, one thing that you're going to do for them? So that's always a tough question. And it can be frustrating because a lot of times we have to say no to some audiences, and we have to say no to some of the things that we're doing. But most likely when I find my clients are stuck, and let's say at like around 200-ish a year in revenues, one of the reasons that they're stuck is that they are big enough to have done a lot of things with a lot of clients, but they are doing too much stuff. So they're doing so many things that they don't get known, and they don't get traction being known for one certain thing. So that's your opportunity for next year, is to focus on one thing for one audience and have that be your year. One of the things that I share with my clients is that when you are ready to receive your goal, you will achieve it. So that usually means that if you haven't achieved what you are wanting to achieve in your business, it's because you have not been ready to receive it yet. That is super frustrating advice, and it can feel like I'm blaming. Remember, I run a no blaming, no shaming ship here. There's no blame and no shame. The opportunity is for all of us to take responsibility for absolutely everything that happens in our businesses. And if we take responsibility for not having achieved a goal, or for achieving it in this coming year, then that is our opportunity to say, I will achieve this goal when I am ready to. So the work becomes readying ourselves to achieve it. So are you cool with receiving an additional 200K, for example, next year? Are you cool with working with X many clients? Are you cool with moving to a 4-day work week? Whatever are your goals, it's really good to do a check, a kind of a gut check and a believability check. Like, how aligned with that am I right now? Because you will achieve what you want as soon as you align with it. I know. I hate that advice too, but because we look at everything that we haven't achieved and we think, really, is that why? But imagine if that's the only reason why, and it probably is, then you can align with your goals and bring what you want into you. So again, let's say you want 200 in the next year, then how aligned are you with that? And you think, well, I'm almost aligned with that. I'm ready to be aligned with that. So that's the opportunity. The last piece here that will help you to achieve what you want in the next year. So we've envisioned it. We're bringing in our wins from last year. We are getting clear on exactly the how-to. So I think the final piece is support. It is critical that you enlist the support that you need to make these things happen. The first place is a universal support. I want you to bring in all of your spirituality, or whatever is the process that you use to balance and align and to be your best self, your best version of yourself. So I always tell my clients, it doesn't matter to me what your specific version of that is. What is important to me is that you have beliefs that align with, that help you to align with something bigger than yourself, and that they make you the best version of yourself, and that you have a spiritual practice, or a meditation practice, a prayer practice, an exercise practice. Sometimes people will exercise to feel themselves part of something bigger in nature. That activity is helping you to align with your goals. That activity, in almost every case that I've seen with my clients, is the thing that makes the goals happen. I would say more than all of this stuff that we've done, all this business stuff that we've just done is critical, right? It is important that we do that stuff. And if you don't do this other piece, then a lot of times you don't have the support to make that happen. So your own inner support, and then really relying on and believing that there is external support for you. In addition, enlist your family, your friends, your colleagues in supporting you in being the version of yourself that you want to be. This requires being around people who elevate your energy and who make you a better version of yourself. And last but not least, seek a mentor. There should be somebody in your life who is helping you to, again, be your best self, see your growth edges, support you as you move past them. One of the things I'm committed to doing for my clients is helping them achieve a result that they couldn't achieve on their own. And I think what's important here is that there's tons that you can do on your own. You can probably do almost everything on your own, but should you? I would love for you to dream a dream for your business that's just slightly larger than what you think that you can achieve on your own. So If you can set a goal that's just like slightly out of your comfort zone or even higher than that, and then enlist support, especially from people who have done before what you want to do and are aligned with that, like have a track record of helping people achieve the things that you want to achieve. That's the specific thing that I want you to look for. And if I'm a fit for that, then I would love to help you achieve your next year's goals and intangibles. And either way, I think it's really important that you search your circles for somebody who feels like that's the one to help you to do what you want. So many things to think about here. I'm energizing together with you exactly the kind of year that you want to have and that you want to create. You are a powerful creator. You can create this for yourself and you can bring it into existence. You can do the work to align with it. The hardest work we do in our business isn't all that stuff out there. The hardest work that we do is to decide what we want and to align with what we want through meditative and spiritual practices and really doing the work on yourself, the personal development work to get yourself ready to have the business that you want to have. Again, if you'd like support with that, please reach out to me. You can find me on any of the channels where you see this video. And I am wishing you a beautiful and magical next year and a profitable and joyful consulting business. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to get video updates. Thanks.